Salae had not started out as a witch. She was once a proud goblin shaman, a healer for her clan. She had followed warchief after warchief into battle, saving those she could, comforting those she couldn't. Each one would make the same claims. It is the only way. We must make war to achieve peace. It wasn't until her second century that she realized that in the name of peace she had known nothing but war. Something broke in her. She who hadn't smiled, led in decades, began to laugh maniacally. She left her clan, abandoned her calling as a healer, and focused her not insignificant powers into something new. Curses. She became a feared witch, her name whispered with horror by those who had seen her handiwork. So great was her renown that nobles paid her a monthly stipend to remain in her good graces. Her fame reached the point that the kingdom itself was on the verge of becoming her enemy. She left her tower without a second thought, moved to a faraway land in a human city where she set up a small shop. There she sold cursed items to anyone who had the coin. Today a young peasant was asking for a cursed necklace. Are you sure? Yes. The wearer of that necklace will die 7 days later. The child's face lit up before leaving the shop, waving Salae goodbye. Thanks, Miss Witch. She was curious. She had sold items to people aiming to inflict horrors on lovers, parents, and sometimes perfect strangers. No matter the target, the buyer always had something in common. Their eyes reflected hate, greed, lust, etc. A sin so great it would stain their soul whether they succeeded or not. But the child seemed genuinely thankful. She had to know what this vile little creature wanted to do with the necklace, who he hated so as to be happy to kill them. She followed him to a small house in the outskirts of the city and looked through the window as the child spoke with a priest, a human healer. She didn't hear the whole conversation, but she did catch one thing. She won't make it through the night. She then saw the kid enter his mother's room, gently lift her head, put the necklace on her neck, kneel by the bed, put her hand to his face, say and pray, not for a miracle, just for 7 more days. Before this night, Salae didn't know she could still feel for others, but as a profound sense of sadness and guilt overwhelmed her, she decided to do something she hadn't in centuries. She casted an invisibility spell and went to check on a patient. The woman was dying. That much she already knew. The damage was caused by growths in her lungs, something healing spells had no effect on, since they were created by the body itself, and not some form of wound. If I had continued my studies, maybe I might be able to do something. She had given up on healing, and as the sands of time ran out on this mother, loved by her son, she recalled other ways to mend a body. She cast a stasis field on the mother, grabbed a lock of her hair and walked out the door. Salae waited for midnight at a nearby crossroads, after having buried a small box with the lock of hair, and she didn't so much as flinch as a creature appeared from the shadows to stand in front of her. Salae, my dear, what can I do for you this lovely night? I have a target for you. I'm calling in a favor. Of course. You have sent so many our way. It's the least we could do for you. Ma. Salae gave the demon a piece of parchment and a handful of copper coins. Go to the owner or the hair, heal her, make her strong and healthy again, and leave the coins and parchment by the nightstand. The demon looked confused for a second before it remembered who he was talking to. Simhi has a plan, she always does. I almost pity the human woman. Very well, until next time. As he faded, the demon missed Salae whispered words. There will be no next time. Jake woke up, still kneeling at his mother's bed, and had a moment of panic. Where? Then the smell of pottage from the kitchen answered his question. I made some food, you hungry? Jake cried as he rushed to hug his mother. He could barely see her through streaming tears, but as he saw the necklace he began to cry for a different reason. 7 days. Widdy. It's okay, little one, I was very sick, but now I feel better than ever. It's going to be fine. Jake nodded and forced a smile. Then his mom insisted he washed before breakfast. While passing in front of the bedroom, he noticed the glint of coins. 8 copper coins laid on top of a parchment. He picked it up and the words transcribed on it flowed into his mind. The item sold was not in fact a cursed necklace, but a greater restoration item, single use. Here is your reimbursement in full. We Apollo. Guys for any inconvenience. Jake fell to his knees and cried his eyes out, clutching the coins in his hand until they drew blood.